the news, Edo State, southern Nigeria.
Well, some believe the bronzes shouldn't be returned to Nigeria at all, but are instead part of the heritage of descendants of slaves in the Americas. Deadria Farmer-Paellmann is the executive director of the Restitution Study Group, who joined me from New York a little earlier. And she started by explaining why the Benin bronzes are so important to her.
The Benin bronzes were made with this thing I'm holding. It's a manila bracelet. And these metal made of copper alloy, they were melted down and cast into the Benin bronzes. So each bronze embodies our ancestors. 50 of these bore a woman, 57 bore a male. So we are absolutely concerned about the bronzes because they are essentially blood money. They're laundered slave trade profits, and we should have a say in what happens to them, how they're managed in museums globally. We should be co-owners or owners of these relics.
I mean, tell me a bit more. Laundered blood money, at times I'm hearing from you. Who are you blaming? Just tell us a bit more.
There's no particular blame. It's that the Benin Kingdom actually enslaved our ancestors in exchange for this metal that made the Benin bronzes. So it's not just them. They sold us to someone, European slave traders. Initially, it was the Portuguese. Later on, it was the British. Many of these Western museums leave out our side of the story. The narratives at these institutions exclude or erase the slave trade origin. So we've been excluded from the dialogue. This is one of the reasons why the Restitution Study Group took on this effort, actually in 2022, to ensure that we are part of all decision-making. So no Benin bronze should be simply handed over to the OBA or to the Nigerian government without our involvement in that decision-making.
Why should present-day descendants be held responsible for what happened centuries ago under colonial duress, if I may add? Is it fair on them as well as you also make your demands or claims?
Well, they're not being held responsible for them. It's just the truth. They're held responsible for acknowledging the truth and recognizing that just as they might want colonial justice, they have to remember that these bronzes have an origin in the slave trade, and that their ancestors were the ones that committed those crimes. So we should not be hypocrites about this matter. We have to build bridges so that we can unify. We've been divided, and the one way that we can recognize our common struggle is to work together and share these bronzes. There's enough of them to go around. I mean, Nigeria has already, at this time, at least 600 or more Benin bronzes. They are not on display. Most of them that have been repatriated, and in fact, none of them that have been repatriated over the past 3 years are on display. And many of them that were in the museums in Nigeria was sold away, since the punitive expedition, okay? But the good news is that folks are open to learning. And at this point, it's important that everyone understand that these bronzes are not just about the Benin Kingdom and the royal family, but it's about all of us, those of us who are in the diaspora, whose lives were exchanged for these bronzes.